Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. How to change our attitude towards the world, how to change our vision of this world. Every object has two aspects of it, one divine and the other is material. And we are accustomed by birth to see the material world deprived of divinity. We don't bring divinity in any way while observing this world, and we look at everything with raga dvesha, likes and dislikes, sometimes being neutral also, or attachments and aversions. To see the divine, the ultimate goal of human life, with the realization of God, what we see is the divine everywhere. We become divine, and what are we? We are going to see the world. When we are divine and see the divine everywhere, that is the ultimate realization. So Sri Ramakrishna wants us to see the divine and remove the material aspect of it. When you see the divine, you no more see the material aspect. Each thing kindles the divine in you. That aspect of sadhana, that aspect of our spiritual urge is being discussed. At that time, I used to invite maidens here and worship them. I found them to be embodiments of Divine Mother herself. One day I saw a woman in blue standing near the bakul tree. She was a prostitute, but she instantly kindled in me the vision of Sita. I forgot the woman. I saw that it was Sita herself on her way to meet Rama after a rescue from Ravana in Ceylon. For a long time I remained in samadhi, unconscious of the external world. This is transmutation. How we change a thing view by just first vision is superimposing the divine. And then the moment you superimpose divine, the material aspect disappears. And the real divine projects through that object. Sri Ramakrishna, seeing an ordinary woman, he is able to immediately link it to some divine aspect of God, some divine aspect of Divine Mother, and from there the material world disappears. Another day, I had gone to the Maidan in Calcutta for fresh air. A great crowd had assembled there to watch a balloon ascension. Suddenly I saw an English boy leaning against a tree. As he stood there, his body was bent in 3 places. The vision of Krishna came before me in a flash. I went into samadhi. How just a posture, Banke Bihari, three places is bent. A boy standing, leaning over a tree in that posture, he has already, smallest suggestion is sufficient for him to transport. How much sensitivity to the divine must be there, and how much insensitive we are to the divine and sensitive to this world. Everything that world excites us, makes us react to it, but never the divine. So this vision, this view, this eye we must have. Every day in puja, we do the Jivanyasa, wherein we eliminate our own existence and infuse the divine. Am Rim Krom Yam Ram Lam Vam Sham Sam Sam Lam Kshamaha. Sri Ramakrishna Devataya Prana Hiya Prana. Chakshu Shrotra Tvak Grana Prana. All these I invoke. I must have the eye of Sri Ramakrishna. I must have the ears of Sri Ramakrishna. How Ramakrishna looked at this world, how he heard the voices, how he behaved in the world. Arjuna asks Krishna, how does a perfected soul move in this world? Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha, samadhistasya keshava. Sthitaji kim prabhasheta, kimasita vrajeta kim. How does the perfected soul, sthita prajna, who has the vision of the divine, steady, never to be altered again, how does he behave in this world? How does he walk? How does he talk? That Sri Ramakrishna's eyes we must develop in us. The mind that sees everything divine, ever his heart which is filled always with joy and bliss, never morose, never hates anything, dislikes anything, no complaints, everything is fine. So that brain, that heart we must acquire. Once at shore, I fed covered boys. I put sweetmeats into their hands. I saw that these boys were actually the cowherds boys of Vrindavan, and I partook the sweetmeats from their hand. At that time, I was almost unconscious of the external world. Mathur Babu kept me at his Jan Bazar mansion a few days. While living there, I regarded myself as handmaid of Divine Mother. The ladies of the house did not feel at all bashful with me. They felt as free before as a woman feels before a small boy or girl. I used to escort Mathur's daughter to her husband's chamber with the maidservant. Even now, the women are extremely sensitive people. They can just sense a person's attitude, feeling, what is within, what is outside, how is he behaving, every bit, just in a glance. That is the protective force working in them to know every bit of the people. One thing is, they are mothers taking care of small children. They have to protect themselves and protect the family. So, sixth sense works beyond the five senses we have. The brain, the understanding that they get is when they feel confident, it has meaning. Regarding Revered Ramakrishna Maharaj, I heard from women's mouth that he never differentiated between man and woman, rich and poor, literate and illiterate, beggar or king, that equal sightedness. They were telling, we never felt he has any difference between me, us, and men. Same attitude, anybody, child or old man. When it comes from the mouth of women, it carries great authenticity in that. So, when these women are confiding in Sri Ramakrishna and not even recognize he is a man, so free. Even from his childhood days, you see him, everybody confiding in him and totally accepting him as their own. That is the feature of avatara. Avatara is accepted by everyone except those who want release from him, like Kamsa, eternal release. Though they have the devotion, a different type of devotion which makes them constantly think of him, the avatara, Vaira Bhakti. And that makes them get released from all the limitations they have put upon them and all the bondages they have created by their own actions. That we see acceptance. We see that in Sri Ramakrishna's life also. Even now, slightest thing awakens God consciousness in me. Rakhal used to repeat the name of God half aloud. Rakhal used to repeat the name of God half aloud. At such times, I could not control myself. It would rouse my spiritual consciousness and overwhelm me. The name of God. While doing japa, we don't utter the mantra. But Rakhal often used to forget where is he, what is he, and start uttering the mantra a little louder. Not loud enough for others to hear, but loud enough for Sri Ramakrishna to hear. Just moving about, he is uttering. And then that small sound coming out, or even lips movement, were sufficient for Sri Ramakrishna to kindle his spiritual consciousness. He would at once enter into samadhi. Now and then, he would enter. This phenomenon the world has never seen. Every moment entering into samadhi and coming down, going to the transcendental and coming down. Now, just to settle from earth to moon, how much efforts we are putting. From the relative to the transcendental and transcendental to relative. Shuttle going on. Sri Ramakrishna went on describing the different experiences he had had while worshipping the Divine Mother as her handmaid. Handmaid is one who moves with a queen or somebody and doing all hard works. Anything they want, from sign, just they look, they understand what is to be done. They need not utter and tell. Just look from they are so sensitive, and every moment they are conscious and ready to serve. Every moment. By turns they may come, but they are just watching and waiting for the orders. Bring that, yes, it is there. So they are called handmaids, serving in a very possible way, giving themselves entirely to that person. Suppose I become a handmaid, my only purpose of my existence as if it is to serve that person, waiting for to serve. So like that, to be a handmaid of Divine Mother, Mother may tell anything. I must be ready when the offering is given in the shrine. God may ask for anything, any moment. That was the instruction given to us. There were occasions when God appeared and asked for certain things. So that suppose you are giving offering, He may ask for a pinch of salt or sugar or water contaminated, bring some other water. Who has touched his foot, take away, bring some other, God may say. So that whole alertness after giving, now and then opening it and looking at the picture. Do you want anything? Like expectation. That expectation becomes true one day. Like Shabari, 40 years after her guru leaves the world, she'll be waiting every moment till Rama comes. Day in and day out. Any moment he can come. Her sleep used to be as much as awake. She is in sleep. Smallest sound, a creature making sound, a leaf falling down, she opens the eyes and sees. That much of sensitivity. So how that waiting period would be to be handmaid of Divine Mother. Experience he had while worshipping the Divine Mother as her handmaid. He said, once I imitated a professional woman singer for a man singer. He said, my acting was quite correct and asked me where I had learnt it. The master repeated his imitation for the devotees and they burst into laughter. After he is known, singing exactly like a woman, with the gestures, with the man's gestures while singing are different, when especially classical singing. It tears something, pushes something, pulls something, and he will be making long. Women singing is different. So that those gestures of women and that voice coming exactly imitating. After his noon meal, the master took a short rest. Manilal Malik, an old member of Brahmo Samaj, entered the room and sat down after saluting the master, who was still lying on the bed. Manilal asked him questions now and then, and the master, still half asleep, answered with a word or two. Manilal said that Shivanath admired Nitigopal's spiritual state. The master asked in a sleepy tone, what they thought of Hazra. The opposite features. Nitya Gopal used to enter into ecstatic state, forget the bodily existence. The world around would become oblivious now and then. That spiritual earning is just would become great. Longing must be there. How much longing must be there? Irresistible longing for the heart to turn red, chest to turn red because of the longing. Then Sri Ramakrishna sat up on the bed and told Manilal about Bhavanath's devotion to God. Master, what an exalted state he is in. He has hardly begun to sing about God before his eyes filled with tears. The very sight of Harish made him ecstatic. He said Harish was very lucky. He made the remark because Harish was spending a few days here, now and then, away from his home. He is understanding the spiritual secrets. To get the company of an avatara, incarnation of God, in those days they may not be so much aware of him as avatara incarnation. Master is yet to reveal his true identity. So they were still the great person, inaccessible to humans. We cannot judge what he is. That kind of high opinion everybody had. But as an incarnation of God, a few alone know in the heart of their hearts, which they were trying to disclose or discuss among themselves, but not fully understanding. But here, that to stay for a few days with the Master in Dakshineswar, unimaginable. So he knows its worth, he knows its value. How much elevating it would be. It is a thorough wash. Lives after lives samskaras are just washed down, and new spiritual springs and shoots come up. Sri Ramakrishna asked him, well, what is the cause of bhakti? Well, what is the cause of bhakti? Why should the spiritual feeling of young boys like Bhavanath be awakened? Yam remained silent. Master, the fact is, all men may look alike from outside, but some of them have feelings of condensed milk. Cakes may have different condensed milk. Cakes may have filling of condensed milk or powdered black grams, but they all look alike from outside. The desire to know God, ecstatic love of Him, and other spiritual qualities are the condensed milk. Some sweets are prepared. Inside things are kept, it is covered from outside and cut in a half moon shape and deep fried. What is inside is known. All look alike. Some will have condensed milk. Condensed milk means it is not wet. It is dried khova. Like peda it would be. Inside it is put, or this black gram, udad, is fried, powdered and put with sugar or jaggery and coconut gratings. Some have this one, condensed milk, some have the grains, crushed grains powder. Value is different entirely. And it's Sri Ramakrishna is giving the condensed milk to be these spiritual urges in man. The question is, why should the spiritual feelings of young boys like Bhavanath be awakened? Because inside is that. Sri Ramakrishna spoke reassuringly to the devotees. Master to him, some think, oh, I am a bound soul. I shall never acquire knowledge and devotion. But if one receives the Guru's grace, one has nothing to fear. Once a tigress attacked a flock of goats. As she sprang on her prey, she gave birth to a cub and died. The cub grew up in a company of goats. The goats ate grass and the cub followed their example. They bleated. The cub too bleated. Gradually it grew to be a big tiger. One day another tiger attacked the same folk. It was amazed to see the grass-eating tiger. Running after it, the wild tiger at last seized it, whereupon the grass-eating tiger began to bleat. The wild tiger dragged it to the water and said, "Look at your face in the water. It is just like mine. Here is a little meat, eat it." Saying this, it thrust some meat into its mouth. But the grass-eating tiger would not swallow it, began to bleat again. Gradually, however, it got the taste for blood and came to relish the meat. Then the wild tiger said, "Now you see there is no difference between you and me. Come along and follow me into the forest." The tiger, how we forget our own real identity having come to this world. We have lost our real identity. We have identified with this bodily existence and thinking ourselves to be this body. And someday, someone helps us to get back the lost identity, and that person is called Guru. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.